All right, we are sitting down with a member of Jimkata for the Fuze magazine in Oneonta, New York. Another great show at the Oneonta Theater. I personally can't say enough about this venue and what it's doing for music in the area. So I hope everybody gets out and supports it, because it's really important to do that and show them that we appreciate what they're doing. So would you mind introducing yourself and tell us what you do for the band?
Sure, I'm Packy, Lunn. I play drums for Jimkata, and I grew up here in Oneonta.
Which is extra wonderful. And did you say you live in Ithaca now?
I lived in Ithaca for the last 10 years.
Okay, cool.
And then I recently relocated to Buffalo.
And so how does that work with, where is everybody located in the band, and how do you guys?
We're still based out of Ithaca, so
Okay.
every week I'm in Ithaca to meet up with the rig, and Aaron's up in Rochester too, so we're all over upstate New York. And yeah, so far we've just been on the schedule of meeting up and then leaving for the string of shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like just this weekend we did 3 shows, and then we were gone for a week, like about a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so we all meet up and we go.
And the thing that I'm the most impressed about over and over with your group is how professional it is. It doesn't lose any sort of creative integrity, but it is really tight and crisp and professional. So how do you guys keep that kind of, is it a dedication thing, or what do you think, how does that translate to the audience?
Well, yeah, you gotta play a lot of shows, because I mean you can practice all you want, like independently, like, you know, by yourself,
Yeah.
or even in the basement, but nothing's gonna help you more than just being on stage, like night after night. Like we don't play anywhere near as well as we do as when we've been on the road for about a week, and then everything's just locked in, and you know, all the changes are there, and you anticipate different things every night, and so every time you do it, it's almost like a dress rehearsal. So eventually, it just becomes second nature. You don't even have to look at each other.
So it's the touring, quote unquote, that really gets you guys as tight as you are.
I would say,
playing
especially
live.
for me, like as a drummer, because it's a very physical, aerobic thing. It's like working out. You know,
Well, yeah, absolutely.
You have to stay in shape, or otherwise you're not going to be ready to lift weights.
You're not gonna have the endurance,
Right.
right, to go for the whole show. And I think that, you know, you guys are very percussive in your approach. The whole, like, even
Thank
the
you.
light show is percussive, and that helps keep it, I'm gonna use the word crisp again, because I think it's really on point in a way that's articulated. That's another word I'd like to use for it. You know, you guys are really strong in that department. It's percussive, not in a world beat kind of way, but sort of in an indie rock sort of way. So how would you say if you had to put a genre on the music that you guys play, what would be the words or the buzzwords that you would use for that?
Well, this is something that we talk about constantly.
Sure.
Recently, I think the new tag was something like synth-washed, anthemic rock and roll.
Yeah.
Which seems to describe it pretty well. I mean, you
Yeah.
saw the show. Does that kind of hit it? Or?
Yes, because it's not, you guys are somehow slightly EDM, meaning that you pull the EDM crowd, but you're not. It's a rock band. It's more Arcade Fire than it is,
Yeah, sure.
you know, like Mo. So that interests me as well, that do you have anything to say about that intersection of genres and how, you know, geez, the crowd tonight as well, I want to
Sure.
tie this in at this moment too, was really varied in age. We had a lot of really young people in the audience tonight, and they knew every single word
Definitely.
to every single song.
And I know
So
here, more so than other cities, we have like a much younger crowd. And I don't know if it's because some of us went to high school here or what, but we play a lot of festivals during the summer. And like a lot of the festivals are kind of based around like the jam scene, more of that.
Sure.
And we never.
But you're not really a jam
we never
band,
exactly fit in with that, and that's kind of been like an equal strength that it has been a weakness for us.
Sure.
Because a lot of people like you know, think they know what we do because of like the kind of clubs we play and the kind of festivals we play. But then there's like the fan that's actually a fan, and they come out and they see the shows and they know the music, and like we're very much like we belong to the people who get us, you know.
Right.
We've been like kind of lone gunners like since we've been doing it, and it's not that we don't want to like disassociate with a certain scene. It's just that we're hard to place,
Yeah.
As you said, like, you know,
Yeah, you're bigger
kind of is
than
kinda
a pigeonhole. Yeah.
And because of that, it's been a strength. And like, at times, that almost seems like it's not working for you because people don't know what to think. Like, a lot of times people, there's a type of person that needs to be told exactly
Right.
what
What they're gonna get.
what they're gonna get into. Like, I'm spending this amount of money because they're gonna be all these lights on stage, or all my friends are gonna be there. Like, I need to make sure I can bring my blue. I need to make sure I can, you know, wear this, and I'm gonna be
Right.
comfortable doing that. And so I think we've caught a lot of people off guard in the past, but now that we're a little more established and people understand who we are and what we do, it's been a little easier.
And I think that's really courageous because I know from being in some bands myself, it's hard to figure out where you stand in terms of where everyone else stands and how you want to package yourself and where you belong. And you guys seem to me to have blazed a trail through, I would say, finding the quality fans, the type of fan that would be willing to lock in and come out over and over, even if they wouldn't necessarily be interested in music that's described. I mean, because I would call you guys indie rock, I really would.
Let's see, but you'd say indie rock to some people and they'd be like, not for me.
Right.
Not gonna do that.
Right, I myself might say, even though I like a great deal of it, I might say, a show, I'm not gonna come out for that. That's not really my vibe, I'm more into indie
Well, because people,
bands
every time you say a term like that, people have preconceived notions of what that is.
Absolutely.
So you say indie rock, people are like, I'm gonna go see a bunch of like tight jean like guys,
Right.
you know, playing guitars at Ratatouille, and that's not really my thing. And a lot of people have like their thing. So I think like our type of fans are people who don't necessarily have a thing.
Right.
They're, you know, they just like music. They're, you know, fans of Genesis, just like they're fans of Fish, or just like they're fans of
integrity and something special.
They, like, our fans tend to be a little more patient. Like they understand, you know, they're a little more forgiving, they're understanding.
Which is a cool thing. That's a great thing to feel about your fans, so that's a great relationship. And I hear you guys have a relationship as well with the venue here, so some upstairs business or like what, you know, what's the...
We started, like, I don't know if you know the history of this place, but it was built in the 1870s. It was a, like, vaudeville acts would come up here and like test out shows, and then before they brought them like back down to Broadway. Because when the railroad was still going, there used to be much more of an economy here.
Right.
And so it was...
In Utica as well.
Right, same deal.
Yeah.
And they didn't have shows here when I was a kid. There was, they would have like, they would open up the theater like occasionally for movies and ballets and stuff like that. And it was much more like of a family destination. It's like, oh, the theater's open, come and see it, you know? And so like, I think I saw Free Willy here, like when Free Willy came out when I was a kid.
Which is cool, so movies and...
There was free movies, and like there was like special events, but like nobody really took it over until Tom took it over and basically renovated it and started doing shows. Now when we started, I don't think the downstairs here was ready yet. He built the stage upstairs and basically put the system in, put the lighting in, and he was slowly, I think it was a test to see like, let me see if like this works. And it started to catch on, and I think they have been getting like a few more bigger acts to be putting on the bottom stage, so it just started to make sense. And people need to like know a venue before they start to frequent the website and start to know exactly what to do.
I agree too, and I think this place is really comfortable and somehow special and not stuffy, which is exactly for me as a venue pursuer. It's a little drafty.
This place is old.
It is old, but that's what's so cool about it, you know. And we have the Stanley in Utica as well, which is an old theater, but it has been all redone, and it's phenomenally gorgeous in there. So they don't book a lot of rock shows, although they talk a lot about getting back into that. Yeah, you don't want people trashing the place. So this is like a great, for me, middle ground between here's the architecture you're dealing with, here's the history of the area. It runs so deep. So then to have you guys who have a history here come and play is like a full circle kind of situation.
Yeah, and it's nice that there's a venue like this here in
Absolutely.
Because I like coming here just because
it is such a cool town.
And then even when we're on stage too, like I love like, you know, we're guys, I'm like stepping across the stage with the guys. And then I kinda like look up and like, wow,
we'll spread out Packy.
Yeah.
Like I never thought I'd be sitting like on the stage like playing like in this room.
Right.
Because like we play rooms like this around the country, but like this particular space has been special to me just because
because you're from here.
Yeah.
Right, which is great. So you guys recently recorded an album, right? You're like
We put out
supporting your.
Light in March, and then we put out a remix version of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. So that's cool. So both are available.
Both are available on Spotify and Bandcamp.
I found you guys on Spotify and made a playlist. It was super fun. That's the best. I just got into Spotify, I will admit too, because I was a real late comer to that party. I'm like, I don't know, you know. And now I'm so into it. I'm listening to music constantly in that format. So, do you think you guys gain fans from that, or like what's
100%, yeah. And like a lot of people have been telling me recently that they got into us through Sirius Radio. Because we
Really?
recently
You
got
guys are
added-
on-
yeah,
okay.
We recently got added to the Jam On station, like on XM.
Nice. This all makes it so much more accessible to people who are used to consuming their music through like the radio conventionally or MTV or the other avenues that we have to let us know about music, because now those avenues are things like The Voice and American Idol, and while that's not, I don't think that's the apocalypse, I think it's not.
Now more than
the
ever,
same.
people have choices. They have way more choices than ever before. And if you commented on how our crowd is like really young. What do you think everybody has in their pocket?
Right.
They're whipping out their smartphones.
Their phone.
And like somebody tells them about a band, they're gonna
They
take
look
that
them up.
quickest route possible, like right to hear your music.
Yeah.
So it really helps to just be everywhere because everybody has a favorite different way of streaming music.
Do you think people still buy the album, or like how does that impact you guys as an independent?
Judging by like our Bandcamp sales, like we still get like money like trickling in. We call it trickle because like the amount of people that play, like we see how many people play it, but you gotta look at it as a promotional tool. Like you're not gonna sell tracks.
Anything if you don't have that.
Right, people like, there is a type of person that still comes to the shows and they have the record digitally, but they see it on the table and say, oh, you know what, I still wanna get it. So they buy it and they just want to have it like, you know, as a hard copy. Now, we know the numbers of like what people are streaming, so that that's the difference that bands now, as opposed to bands 10 years ago, can do. Because you can see what people actually listen to, specifically like tracks that people are listening to.
Right.
So we know what's most popular, and like we can even tell like from city to city what song is most popular.
That's
There's
beyond cool.
analytical.
Yeah. Well, and this brings me to a soapbox point, because I have a few of those, and this is one of them. When you do go to a show and you like the band and you've streamed their music, or you've gotten into them through some venue that doesn't require you to pay for the music, it is a nice nod to then pay for the music. So I know not everyone is necessarily able to do that, and that's okay, but for people who can, to then put the money down on the table, so to speak, for the physical album means something in terms of supporting you guys.
Absolutely, and like you can tell the type of fan that comes and they're just like, I already have this, but I want that and I want that.
I went right. I'd like a t-shirt
I want
because
a
I love
t-shirt
you
because,
guys, and
And a lot of people too, like there's a weird psychology behind that, because a lot of people would be like, I already have all your albums and I got them for free, so I want that though, I want that t-shirt.
Yeah.
And they want to help, like people, like, you know, I don't know if anybody told you, but the Die Digital that we recorded in 2012, 100% fan funded.
Was it? That's so cool.
We raised something like.
Did you kickstart it, or?
Yeah, it was Indiegogo.
Okay, yep.
We raised over $12,000 to record that record.
Oh, wow.
And because of that, people just had so much pride, and they had their own stake in it. You know, it was almost as if they're shareholders in the record.
Yeah.
So for that, like it works twofold, because it's its own promo tool, because people are donating money. So they know it's coming out, and then they're interested because it's like, I gave you guys $20. I want you know, let me see something on my investment here, and that was really nice. Like when we got that out finally, like it felt so good to finally put that out.
So when is the next one? Will we have another
The next
crowd-funded one?
Yes. The next one we are going to be recording, I think, in January, February, and probably March.
And where are you doing that? Do
We
you
record
know?
up in Syracuse.
Okay.
At this beautiful studio run by our friend Jocko.
I was gonna say more sound.
More sound.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Syracuse Miller's ago.
Yeah.
Great place. Like they have.
For sure.
Every time we go, he has like new renovations going. The guy's he's going above and beyond. Like what?
Always above and beyond.
Yeah.
Jocko.
So I'm glad you're familiar with him. But we're gonna be, I think, around this time next year, putting out a new record, a full length, hopefully.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, it's a great show always. It was a great show tonight. The lights, the everything, the way everything comes together, and it's so low drama in a beautiful way, and it's just a creative kind of thing that happens with you guys, and we really appreciate it, and I'm sure all the fans did because I watched them do that from the crowd tonight. So thanks for sitting down with us in the Fuze magazine, and we really appreciate your time tonight.
It's very nice to meet you.
You too. Thanks a lot.